What's up, y'all? Today we're going to be doing an MJX session. You can see I've got my phone hooked up here. Voila. And I'm just going to be doing a real-time MJX session like I would do if I was just hanging out making AI art. And you get to kind of see how the MJX system works. I've got my camera going as well, so you can see some of the additional features around like back tap and the assistive touch. So let's go ahead and jump into it. For starters, you'll see I've got this button here that's floating over the window. When I tap that once, it'll run the MJX wizard. And I can paste that prompt in here. Right now, it's only the images, only the image block is activated. But if I double tap, it'll run the settings shortcut. And then I can choose to activate all these. So we're gonna say, turn that on. We're gonna pick a couple packs. We'll do color fields and impressions. These are just some packs that I have on my notes folder, and you'll see those before we're done here. And I'll set it to four images to remix. We will set the image weight to 1. Let's see, we'll turn the vibes block on and include 2. We're not gonna weight it. We're going to turn the camera block on, the art styles block on, and for now, we are going to leave a custom suffix off. So you'll see when I tap here, it's going to make a new prompt, and it's pulling from those 2 new image libraries, those active packs that I selected, impressions and color fields. And they're each curated to be, representative of a particular style or art form. And what we get in the end is a really unique combination of different pieces blended with the different elements in the image blocks, right? So I turn the art style block on and the camera block on. If we go into the art style block, you'll see it's pulling from these large lists of different art style components and adding a set amount to the final prompt. Back out of that, go back here to MJX. Cool. So you can see this, the copy of portraits with soft lighting, pinhole lens, etc. is being filtered back through the image references that we gave it. If I run this again, it will do the same, but it'll give us a very different set of outputs, because here now we've got extruded design, we've got fisheye lens, shadow lighting, ultraviolet color. I'm just going to run this again, run it a couple times. Nice. So those will run quickly. But what I do want to do with this session today is actually go to midjourney.com and pull a bunch of different images and build a pack live that we will use with the MJX engine. So on my instance of MJX, and if you follow the setup instructions, yours will be set up the same way. If I want to create a new remix pack for images, I've got it linked to a double tap on the back of my phone. So we'll double tap, boop, boop, and it will run Pack Manager. So I can either select an active pack exactly how we did in the image setting setup, or we can create a new one. So let's create a new one called Live Sesh. Cool. I like this dragon. I'm going to copy this dragon, and then I'm going to triple tap. And what that's going to do is run Pack Builder. So I can take URLs that I copy and I can add them into custom image packs. You'll see here, it's just created a new one, Live Sesh, and voila, we have that Midjourney image ready for us. Pretty cool. So let's do that with a few different other styles, just to see what else we can get. This is a kind of a cool one. We'll copy that, triple tap, add it to Live Sesh. What else do we have here? this is a cool one. Copy. Live sesh. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. All right. Do this one. This is kind of a cool vibe. Live sesh. And this is just to kind of demonstrate how this works conceptually, but you could also, you know, do something like use your own images for this. You could search by a type of term or search keyword, right? So impressionism. Let's add that in there, and let's add this one to the pack. Cool, so now we go to this, you'll see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 images that we've added. And if we want to set that as the active pack, we will double tap. Double. Classic. There we go. We're going to select the active pack and we're going to do live sesh. And also, these are some pretty cool images from the ones that we were just making earlier. That's dope. I actually really love that vibe. It's like dancing people. We're going to upscale that. We're going to re-roll that too, because that's dope. One thing I do love to do is mid-session, you know, if you start getting a cool vibe, copy these images, right? So if you really like this one, copy media link, 1, 2, 3, and we can add it to live sesh. So very cool. But yeah, what we're going to do here is double tap, open up the pack manager. We're going to select the active pack, live sesh, and when I tap the assistive touch button, we will get new prompts that are designed with those images that we just put into the list, right? How cool is that? It's that easy. Usually this takes a ton of time to do, and with the tap to prompt system, it's as easy as it could possibly be, honestly. We're just gonna run this a few times, right? See what kind of cool vibe we can get. Honestly, this selection of images is very random. Usually the remix packs that I'm putting together are like pretty curated, right? It's like one consistent stylistic DNA or a composition structure for the image that we're trying to reproduce. And I mean, sure, sometimes you get some really crazy results with very off-the-wall combinations. Things like textures combined with portraits are always really cool. But this is all to say, sky's kind of the limit. You can imagine whatever you want with these kind of remix packs. But you can see that what we're producing is very different, but inspired by the images that we put in. And if we wanted to, you know, we could add a custom suffix to this. I'll go here and I'll edit suffix. We're going to add a custom prompt suffix. So I want the aspect ratio to be vertical phone layout. We're going to do 20 on the chaos, 500 on the style. We're going to say yes to raw style, and we're going to do the 5.2 engine. So now you'll see when I run shortcut, it's adding that suffix to it. And this is a pretty quick and easy way to just, you know, cycle through different settings and find a vibe that you like. I particularly like 20 chaos, 500 style. It's a good place to kind of build from. But let's just go ahead and run this for a little bit and see what we can get. And now, while we wait for those to load, I'm going to go into the images selection here. We don't need to repick the pack, but what I'm going to do is reduce the number of images we're remixing from 4 to 2. And we're not going to do an image weight. And so what this is going to do is it's going to, only give us 2 image URLs in the output, which is going to make each one weigh a little more heavily. So we'll start to see some more unique combinations of those images that we uploaded. A great way to see what sort of the aggregate group DNA of a remix pack you've created is to make a pack with a bunch of images and set the image number to 10, turn off all the other blocks, and just roll, prompt after prompt with 10 batch images. And it's a good way to kind of see what the core DNA of the creative that you've put in there is going to produce. And it's a nice opportunity to fine-tune what you're getting out of it as well. Okay, so let's go back and look at some of these images that we've created so far, right? We sort of started with this one with that new batch. We've got some cool color drippy texture things. It's coming from the expressionistic drips term in there. This one looks, a bit more house-ish, kind of like surreal art house. We're getting some technology-inspired ones. This is a neat little mobile phone in a, creative jungle here. We've got some people, some scenes. This one's really cool. That's neat. Gonna upscale that one. What do we have here? This is sort of like filigree topography, like gold-plated map vibe. This one's neat. This is like abstract up close, cyberpunk scales or something like that. We got portraits. We've got celestial punk vibes. Floating people, beautiful scenes. And honestly, a lot of this is tailored towards the content that's default built into MJX. I have curated these terms over the last 18 months or so, but you can certainly go in and kind of change whatever you want. So for example, you don't like satellite imagery in the camera styles setting. Go turn it off, swap it out for another term, remove it entirely. Whatever you want to do, you can do. So we'll roll one more prompt here. I'm also going to I'm going to set a particular pack that I like here, illusions, and color fields. I always like the combinations that these two packs is able to produce. And once again, all I have to do is hit the button, the assistive touch button, auto makes the prompt. Do it again a few times just to get some visuals going here that you can really check out. But it's easy to see once you have the system set up how easy it is to get super creative with the art that you're making. It's mostly a matter of combining image sets that you stylistically lean towards or think are really cool, and terminologies like prompt vocabulary. So, one interesting thing that we can do here is if I save that image, right, and we use Midjourney's describe feature. Describe image. So we're going to add that in there. What we can do is sort of mine from Midjourney's description feature terms that we like or that are kind of cool, and compose those back into the engine, right? So things like multicolored city, psychedelic art nouveau, eroded interiors, tangled forms, colorful abstract landscapes. Like all these things you can kind of pull into your own stylistic approach. And MJX is sort of designed to, once you understand how the engine works, you can tweak everything to be getting some really, really impressive and unique art out of the system. So you'll see these starting here. These are some of those images that were the combination of the illusions and the color fields pack. It's kind of like cowboy western psychedelic tech tapestries and cool vibes, but you know, you get some neat examples of art that's just so distinctive and like off the wall from what, you know, I've ever seen before. I think most people probably have ever seen. And that's especially one of the strong points of the V5.2 engine, is its ability to actually like really amazingly remix images. If we turn off our suffix here, say no, and instead what we do is we adjust the settings to the Midjourney V6. It's going to auto add that suffix to the prompts that we're pasting in. So there's an interesting balance between how we're managing the suffix inside of MJX and how you manage the suffix and like settings and stuff inside of Midjourney. It doesn't make sense to fully manage them all in one or the other during a prompting session like this. So you sort of juggle it a little bit. And obviously, if you're trying to do it via MJX, you can open the shortcut and edit how the prompt is being constructed as well. You can add a custom suffix, right? If you want album cover included in every prompt that you're creating, just go in and type that into the prompt that's being outputted. It's pretty simple to do, but it lets you really customize what you're getting out of this. And, you know, you'll see with V6 here, it's a very different engine. It's incredible for photorealism, but it's almost too good at interpreting what it thinks you want out of the image, right? Not every image that you're trying to create is a cinematic photograph of a person. And, you know, you start to see that a little bit with the V6 engine. Whoa. Yeah, so V6, like I said, it's crazy cool in its own way. I think you would optimize the prompt blocks, the engine blocks in MJX a little bit differently when you're using V6 because it's better at understanding natural language. But either way, really another powerful engine from Midjourney. And it's just another creative resource that you can tap into in your kit to make some cool stuff happen. We got one last one coming in here. And I want to stress that like the difference between this piece here and, you know, some of these other ones further up like this, it's really not that much other than the engine changing. So we're working from the same set of images. We're working with the same kind of core MJX core prompt variables, but that photorealism piece really brings a different kind of aesthetic to these. That's really cool, actually, right? And for example, if we wanted to add a custom suffix in here, so let's say I want to make this tiled. So Midjourney can do tiled images that are like seamless tiles. Now when I run this prompt, in the same way that it's adding V6 to the end, it's also going to add tile, and you'll see that here. So it's using V6 and it's using tile. And what we'll get is something kind of similar to this probably, but a bit more dynamic. I actually think tile is one of the more interesting Midjourney features that's out there. But again, it sort of all depends on combinations of the engine, your suffix settings, chaos, style, stylization. Are you using a style tuner? We haven't really even done anything with style tuners during this session, but it's a completely different creative resource that you could add a block in the MJX engine that always adds a style suffix. And those are special settings that you fine tune using Midjourney. It costs maybe like $1, $2, depending on how heavily you train it or tune it. But it lets you kind of bottle the lightning of a particular prompt style that you might like without having to write out a whole crazy word salad of a prompt to get that kind of thing. But you've been seeing on the screen for a little while here, this is that same prompt, but with tile appended to it. This prompt and this prompt. And really, like, if we want a one-to-one comparison, I can always go in here and also add tile. But it's pretty clear. MJX is a great creative resource if making AI art is your jam. I will say this has absolutely changed how I get creative with AI art. The ability to just, tap once, see it runs the prompt. I can tap twice and it will allow me to change the settings. I can back tap twice and it runs Pack Manager. I can back tap 3 times and it will run the Pack Builder. And like, this whole system just makes it so easy to really like push AI creative engines to their absolute limit. And you can actually have sessions with it. And like, MJX saves your settings. So once you set them once, you can just have like a good session until you want to tweak things. And yeah, as we discussed, like, we added those images at the beginning of this to this note on the phone. You can have as many of these as you want. And obviously you'll see like the options here, right? Remix Pack Illusions, Remix Pack Live Sesh, Crochet World, Stylish Fish People. If I double tap, we're able to actually come in here and select which of those packs we want. And there's really no limit to it. Like, you could select every image pack that you have if you want. It's just all about what you're excited to do with Midjourney and where your imagination takes you. So hope you enjoyed this MJX session. If you want to pick up MJX, you can always visit mjx.shepbryan.com or Google MJX, MJX prompt engine. And yeah, pick up your copy of MJX today. Honestly, it's a total game changer. You won't regret it. And I hope you enjoyed today's prompting sesh. Peace out, y'all.